Welcome to All Things Social Security. My name is Stephanie Joy of Joy Disability. I am a Social Security disability attorney, and I would like to invite you to watch our daily video tips on the Social Security disability and SSI claims process each day at the new time of noon Eastern Standard Time here on YouTube on this channel. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A live stream. So you are welcome to join that as well. Ask your questions, get there on time, and you'll be one of the first answered. Thanks so much and have a great day. Enjoy the video. Good morning, afternoon, or evening. Another SSA informational release here. And this is from July 14th. I am a bit behind still. It's funny because I'm not really used to so much sharing of information from the SSA, the higher ups, about what's going on and where progress is made and this kind of thing. So this is kind of refreshing, but I am behind because it's not really part of my normal workday, of course. So this one is about the transition to fully electronic payments. Now, some people might hear that and say, oh my gosh, like that's frightening. It's, too futuristic or whatever. The irony is 99 point something percent of us already totally receive our benefits electronically. It's either by direct deposit to the bank account or it's by debit card. So this is actually only affecting a percentage of 1%, something far less than 1 in 100. So important to note that. However, the costs, of course, I think, in many ways of issuing paper checks. And by the way, when I started, that's all we had. We got paid that way. They issued our fee that way, paper check from the SSA. I will say that the regular mail system that they use to send those was starting to decline, but it wasn't like it is now. And I would be really concerned if I was receiving my checks on paper through the U.S. Postal Service without being certified mail or tracking. I would. And I mean, there's so much mail we don't get. It's laughable. So, and by the way, that's a whole nother thing about the fact that you receive notices that are important by mail still, which is a good thing that they're really, really spending a lot of time, effort to get that online portal for everybody as good as it can be. And it's got a lot more work to do, of course. But then at least, hopefully, all these notices will always be on the online portal so that if you don't get that denial letter where you have 60 days to appeal and it never arrives in your mail, and I've had many, many cases like that, that would be a remedy for that. Might not be surefire, might still be where you can't expect everybody to be able to get on there. There are some people that are just going to be technically unable to do that, whether it's because they just don't get it, they're old school. Some people my age are, too old school to get it. Of course, some of them have a fear of learning it. I mean, I get it. I'm not looking to learn new things either, by and large, that are outside of my direct field. It will be a good thing because most people are going to jump on that appeal. Otherwise, you're delaying anyway. So let's say you didn't get an appeal by paper, you don't see it online because you're not online, or you try to pull a fast one because you saw it. By the way, I have a feeling there would be every time you access it, there's tracking, like we all have. So that really wouldn't fly. You couldn't really lie about it. I didn't get it when they know you did. But you can learn of your denial and take your options and use your energy in the manner you see fit, because now 59 days that ahead of the deadline of what you need to make a decision on and do, versus it getting there a month later because of slow mail or not getting there at all. So it's all good. But anyway, going back to the payments, they're saying that starting September 30th of this year, so that's in a couple months, the administration will no longer be issuing the paper checks for benefit payments. This change, they say, is in part of a broader government-wide initiative to modernize payment systems and enhance service delivery. It's got to be a good move because a lot of, mail gets stolen too. When someone sees something that could remotely be, when some criminals see a check that could remotely be a check from the U.S. Treasury, they will steal it. In fact, I just had a Friday fraud law review. I don't know if it's come out yet. I think it did just come out. If not, it'll be in the next couple Fridays, about a U.S. postal worker scam stealing millions of dollars of U.S. Treasury checks, which are the precise checks that go to Social Security beneficiaries. Okay, so they go on to say that by moving to electronic payments exclusively, the SSA aims to improve efficiency, security, and ensure that beneficiaries receive their monthly benefits promptly. All good goals, correct? They say, who does this affect? This transition primarily affects a very small group of beneficiaries who have not yet switched to electronic payment methods. Less than 1% of beneficiaries currently gets paper checks. We encourage these individuals to enroll in direct deposit or, and this is what some people are unaware of, the Direct Express card to receive their monthly benefits timely. I have a family member who received the benefits on the Direct Express card because didn't have a bank account. And a lot of people don't have a bank account. It could be due to poor credit. Banks won't give it to them. It could be that they don't find it to be secure and they're concerned that someone will hack into it. They might have bad credit and are concerned about liens. And even though there's some protections on a leaning creditor taking Social Security funds out of a bank account, sometimes the informational connections about what monies are in that account, because it's usually not just Social Security monies, gets crossed and or it is commingled. And now that lien law protecting beneficiaries' monies to a certain extent, not fully, can no longer be used anyway. So the Direct Express, it's a debit card and works like a charm. You know, it's like any other debit card. It lasts for a number of years and you get a new one, you have to activate it and all that. And you just can go and take out your cash. It is, you know, second best to direct deposit, I would say, but it fits the needs of people who have a very troubled credit history or bank difficulties. It works much better. So, and they say, why the shift to electronic payments? Let's go into that. Certain advantages they're noting. 1, speed and efficiency. Electric funds transfers are processed more quickly than paper checks, helping beneficiaries receive their payments on time without delays. We've all had the complaints about people who got their checks super late, didn't know if it was lost in the mail, things I alluded to before. So this is certainly a cure for that. Cost savings. According to the U.S. Department of the Treasury, issuing a paper check costs about 50 cents, whereas an EFT costs less than 15. That's pretty huge. It's about what? More than 65% savings. Am I getting that right? Yeah. Okay. This shift could save the federal government millions of dollars annually. Super, super important. It says could save. I don't know why they say could. It sounds like it will, but maybe because it hasn't happened yet. That's the way they, sorry me. I am rolling around here. I got new wheels on my chair. Woo! I'm like a jet setter in this office. The last advantage they note is enhanced security. Paper checks are 16 times more likely to be lost or stolen compared to electronic payments, increasing the risk of fraud. Electronic payments provide a safer, more secure way to receive benefits. That's an interesting number. I'm not surprised. 16 times more likely to be lost or stolen compared to if you were to get hacked in your bank, which is where your direct deposit would go. So that's a huge number, 16. So they go on to say that the SSA is proactively sending notices to people who currently receive paper checks to explain the upcoming change and highlight the benefits of switching to electronic payments. In addition, all benefit checks will include an inserts explaining the steps a beneficiary can take to transition to electronic payments, and our technicians are ready to assist. These efforts aim to ensure a smooth transition and help recipients understand their options. I appreciate that because there's almost 3 months to get one's situation underhanded. I would say if someone is incapable of comprehending this, someone who's still on paper checks, and there's going to be people, it could be old age, it could be dementia, and I'm talking about even minor, because making change is really difficult for some people, and as we get older it gets more and more difficult. We all kind of get resistant. I could see that you need 3 months, a good 3 months. I would tend to think that the people that would have a big problem with this, they already have debit cards, because if they're getting paper checks, they're getting them usually deposited someplace, or they're even savvier and they know how to go to a cash checking place. Not that I would recommend it, but some people do that. By and large, everyone should have the ability to do this. And those that are more of like an invalid type or completely maybe cognitively declined, dementia or some other reason, those folks have representative payees that have already stated that they are well and competent to be such. And so those people have that helper, the representative payee, who can and should do this for them. If a representative P cannot do it, then he probably has to leave that duty because they're not competent enough themselves to do it. And that happens too. Sometimes a representative payee is getting aged themselves and are starting to lose the capacity to do things properly in a timely manner and whatnot. So, okay. So that's my take on who could be adversely affected and how minimal or zero that actually is. So they go on to say, and this is kind of a repeat, if you currently receive paper checks, you have 2 convenient options to receive the Social Security payments electronically. The direct deposit. Beneficiaries should enroll in direct deposit with their financial institution. Payments can be deposited directly into your checking or savings account, and that is really convenient, guys, as 99 point something already knows. The Direct Express card, they continue on, is for people without a bank account, as I alluded to before. The Direct Express card is a prepaid debit card designed specifically for federal benefits payments, which, by the way, I think it makes it a lot more secure than a debit card from any bank out there that you probably already have, and credit cards. Okay. They advise that you could update your payment information anytime by going through your personal My Social Security account online. We do have a video on that because last year in 2024, that transitioned to login.gov or your other choice of ID.me. And if you haven't done it already, you really got to. Whether you want to or not, I resist it forever. Because that's what I do. I'm getting older. See how that works? All right. Bye, guys. I hope that's good news. I think it is. It doesn't seem to hurt anything. It just makes people have to do a little bit of change, a very small amount of people, and it will save money and prevent a lot of these people who have been losing their checks or getting them stolen from that continuing. Because a stolen check is likely not going to be money recouped. And it's more of that fraud that we're trying to defeat, right? To keep our Social Security funds strong and intact as they can be. Bye now, guys. Hello again. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful, if not just a little bit informative. In the event you have a Social Security question you want addressed, please feel free to make a comment below and ask the question, even if nothing to do with this particular video. And just a quick, again, reminder, we have our daily video shares and tips around noon every day of the week. And on Wednesdays at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we have our live Q&A session where you can come in live and enter your questions in the chat. And we all pretty much have a good time for an hour or two. I look forward to seeing you there, hopefully. And lastly, don't forget about our benefactor memberships. They're very reasonably priced. The first one is very nominal and you get a few perks, but on a bigger scale, it contributes to us being able to fulfill a mission of assisting certain people with representation that would otherwise not be able to get it. We look forward to continuing to do that. And so far it's working out like the bomb. So thank you for being here. I appreciate it. Bye-bye now.